Good evening and welcome to Inside Kennedy Football, your weekly look inside the Eagle football program. My name is Josh Powers. Coming up on this edition of Inside Kennedy Football, talk to the head coach, Kedrick Williams, about the huge playoff win in the quarterfinals over Two Rivers. What an amazing game it was. We'll also look ahead to their next opponent in the semifinal round, Hastings, which is coming up this weekend. We'll also check in with a couple of the players. Marquez Monroe and Jeff Keller join me, and we'll get a visit from our old friend Daryl Moffitt, quarterbacks coach for Kennedy. But first, Kedrick Williams, what a game, huh? I talked to John Anderson after the game. He said he liked that 39-0 win over Patrick Henry a little bit better on the emotions. But while you guys come back in the fourth quarter, 24-19, just an amazing game with some great plays made by your team.
Hello, Josh. Thanks for having me, first of all. Hello, Eagle Nation. Personally, I like the second win better. My alma mater is Henry, loved it. It was a good win, but they're a down program right now. It's very obvious to see that. Of course, you want to win those, but at the same time, it was about getting ready for the playoffs. And it's really about showing our home fans, Eastside, the community of Bloomington, that, we appreciate your support. We let them down on homecoming. I'll continue to say that. We lost an ugly game on homecoming, and we felt bad about it. We talked about it. We were upset about it. We felt about it. So we just felt like the last two games at home, we wanted to make sure people remembered us during the offseason. That's all. Let's
get into the highlights, Coach, because there's so many swings in this game. I thought your team showed great fight, especially in the second half. Second half defensively, just making some huge plays here. We'll get to it. An interception here right at the goal line, David and Villas Rizzo.
Yes. And again, David, read that good. He jumped a little early. We was nervous, but, great play by David. He's really been working hard this summer. He worked hard in the offseason to get his body right, gained some weight there, put some muscle on. Been playing some great corner for us. Just really proud of him there in our defense.
Then next possession, this is with Two Rivers leading this game. They get right down to the goal line. Jason Orr, just a tremendous play to poke this ball out.
And, that's really what it is. Jason hasn't played a lot of defense this year at all by any means, but to make the play, and really one of the plays of the game, let's be honest. They scored there. They put it up by the two scores, like you said, and, it's a hard fight back there in the fourth quarter.
More from, this is a key play, more key plays here.
Yes.
Right after this fumble, you're backed up in your own end zone. Christopher Martin's able to get this off, and they commit a mistake, roughing the kicker. That leads to what we'll see here coming up, but that was a huge play in the game.
That's something that we worked on with Chris, really taking contact with that kick, leaving that follow-through up there before. And, and it worked out that time. Chris is good at getting those flags.
And then 3 plays later, this happens. I don't know how many broken tackles it was. Rajon Walker, he's doing his best imitation of the Seattle running back there from a few years back, going into beast mode there at 75 yards.
Well, I'm really proud of Rajon again. He was kind of upset last week at senior night. He didn't get that many touches. This week, we made sure we fed him, but we was feeding them based off of what they was giving us. We didn't say, let's go to Rajon. And I'm glad, Zach is getting better and better at just reading the defenses. He does a lot of homework at home when it comes to watching video. We talk periodically through the week during school days, during lunch, and he just tells me what he likes and what he sees. He's done a great job working with Coach Moffitt this year, seeing things, keeping them calm during games. It's made a heck of a difference, Josh.
And then that second one, he gets into the end zone. That gives your team the lead. That sets the stage for Marquez. We'll hear from him later. But defensive play of the game, Coach. He's able to get that interception and seal it for your team to win.
Again, this is a great, this is a throw. The interception by Marquez. That's what that was. A little spin dance move there, and I'm glad he got down. I'm so glad he got down, Josh.
Probably wish he wanted to get down before that spin, but he just wanted to show off his moves one more time.
That's it. Little hips.
You still need another first down, which Marquez got on the ground to seal it up. What are the emotions like after that win? Because you've had a couple games earlier this year that you probably should have won. Richfield, De La Salle.
Yes,
this one,
definitely.
Two Rivers after this game probably feels like they could have won this game. So how does that feel to make the key plays, unlike those first two games, in the most important game for you guys in the season?
I talked to someone over at Two Rivers. I know a very, very good friend of mine. His kid plays at Two Rivers, and he's also a Kennedy alumni. Shout out. But, what he talked about is just that, they really felt like they could win that game. They felt like they were playing their best they had played all season. So shout out to Two Rivers, to that program, that coaching staff. I understand, we've had that in the past at Kennedy where we thought we'd done everything right. except the last 3 minutes and 4 seconds of the game. And unfortunately, knowing how that feels, again, my hat off to Two Rivers, but more so my hat off to my guys for their perseverance. We talked about how do you fight adversity. That's something that we discuss on a weekly basis. How do you bounce back, whether it's from a bad test at school, whether it's from you getting in trouble at work or at home maybe. How do you bounce back from some adversity? We had adversity, for a lot of that game, and I'm so glad to see my guys come back at the end.
And just to do it on both sides of the ball, offense
Yes.
making big plays,
Yes.
defense, you held them to 50 yards rushing in the second half. That was much improved. So it has to feel great knowing that both sides of the ball, it's a true team win for you guys.
And it's about second half. We talk about the game of two halves. We talk about that, right? And I want to give a shout out now to Jay Robinson, my defensive coordinator over there. Jay, another Kennedy alumni, of course. But we talked at halftime. What adjustments can we make? One thing we did was move Marquez into the box more. In the second half, you see him actually playing some linebacker there. What other things can we do? We can shift line. We can move. So just really a shout out to Jay Robinson, his creativity. Matt Hamilton, defensive line coach. David O'Reilly, defensive backs coach. We talked at half. We didn't panic. We didn't get nervous. Normally, Coach K goes off. But didn't really go off. We're talking about what strategies that we could use to get back in that game.
It was awesome to see you guys get it done. A really exciting win for you, Coach. And we'll get a chance now to look ahead to the semifinal round. To do that in the last segment against Hastings, okay?
Thanks, Josh. See you momentarily.
All right, that's the head coach, Kedrick Williams. Coming up, it's the players segment. A couple of the juniors stop by. Jeff Keller and Marquez Monroe when Inside Kennedy Football continues.
The Kennedy Foundation mission is to be a hand up financially to help students in activities and athletics. All students have the ability to participate in any sport or activity regardless of your prior experience. Kennedy is a well-versed school. Lots of opportunities for students to thrive and be their best. Anyone can join us in helping with our fundraising efforts, like purchasing one of our Love Your Melon caps available on our website, purchasing a season pass that is available to all varsity games for both Jefferson and Kennedy throughout the entire school year, and last but not least, join us on Monday nights at bingo at the sports page. See you there!
Back on Inside Kennedy Football, the Eagles move on to the section semifinals. It's a road game for Kennedy and a familiar spot against Hastings, a team that defeated Kennedy last year in the postseason. Kennedy will try to turn that around on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Back in the players segment, Jeff Keller, Marquez Monroe. Guys, I know you've been here before. Appreciate the time as always.
Yeah, thank you.
Jeff, what were some of your emotions during that quarterfinal game? You guys trailed for a large portion of that game, including in the fourth quarter. What was it like on the sidelines as you guys came from behind to ultimately win that game?
The game, I thought it went, I don't know why I lost my train of thought, but honestly, we just had to keep the sidelines going. I feel like that's where it came in. We had to keep the sidelines going. We had to come together as a team. Because I don't think we would have won the game if we didn't come together as a team. It was a team effort. The guys on the sidelines, the coaches, it was making the adjustments at halftime, figure out what we had to do, we had to pass the ball more, we had to get better blocking by the line. The defense had to do different things on the defense, yeah. But yeah, we just came together as a team to come behind and win the game. So
as you're blocking up front, Jeff, and you got Marquez trying to seal the game on after the interception, right? You guys needed a first down on the ground to make sure you walked away with the win. What is that like, contributing to some key moments, and then ultimately when you see Marquez get past that first down marker, has to be a pretty cool moment, I would imagine.
After I blocked my guy back a few yards and just see Marquez get the first down, I'm just like, whew, all right, it feels good. It definitely feels good.
Marquez, you pretty much did it all in this game. You the kickoff guy, interception. I think you led the team with 14 tackles. Obviously some key running plays. How does it feel to maybe play your best game of the season when your team needed it the most?
It feels great. Really, I didn't want to go home the first game like usual. It's a new team, a new culture. So yeah, I think we're gonna go far this year.
It seemed like you had, just noticing it from the press box, it seemed like you had an extra gear, an extra fight to just kind of say, guys, we're not losing this game. I felt like that trickled down to the rest of the team. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So how does it feel to kind of lead that team by example when you're the guy kind of up in your game, and how does it feel to see everyone else do the same around you?
It feels good because like I feel like when I bring the energy, everyone like builds off me. So yeah, it feels good.
And how about your buddy Rajon? He had some big catches. I think he was trying to imitate you on that long one. I think you broke about 7 or 8 tackles. But what does it say? I know you guys have been playing together a long time. It has to be a special moment. I know he's a friend of yours. For him to make some big plays too, how happy are you for him?
Yeah, I'm really happy. I love to see him succeed. I love to see the team succeed. And playing with him I knew he could do that, so I'm not surprised.
He does it against you in practice, right? He breaks through your tackles? No? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Not me.
All right. I know we'll talk quickly for both of you. I know you're juniors this year, and I know football is something that you might want to pursue at the next level. And by all indications, you don't have to name the schools if you don't want to, but both of you are receiving some interest. So what does that feel like for both of you guys? We'll start with you, Jeff, to know that there might be some options to continue playing this game after Kennedy.
Honestly, feels like really good to know that the work that I've put in since starting lifting in like 7th grade with Coach K, just the work that I've put in over these years, that it's now finally paying off. You know, as a freshman, suiting up on the sidelines, just thinking, oh, I want to get out there. You know, when is my chance going to come? But now my chance is here. And I feel like me and Marquez, we're both utilizing our chances so that we can play at the higher level. It's because we've worked so hard over these past few years.
How about you, Marquez? When schools are reaching out, that has to be a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, it feels good because like my dreams might come true because I always wanted to go to college and play football for a team. So yeah, it feels great.
Yeah, same.
And I know we've got a big game coming up on Saturday. What is it going to take to win on the road? Obviously, you played Hastings last year. They're probably a better team this year than they were last year. So what's the mindset kind of going on the road? I know from Kennedy's standpoint, too, you have a few more players this year than you did last year,
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
So I think that has to help you guys. How about you? What do you think, Marquez? What are some of the keys on Saturday?
Like effort, like every play go 110%. We like going into the game, we got to have a mindset like we're winning it. And we just got to do our jobs.
How about you, Jeff?
Yeah, like Marquez said, going into it that we're going to win. Knowing that we're not going to lose. Going into that, we shouldn't lose. If everyone does their job, I say this before every single game, if everyone does their job, we should not lose.
And what has the season been like? Last question for both of you. Kennedy's done some terrific things this year. Most regular season wins since 2007. You guys were barely even alive when that happened. Now you get a big playoff win. You're above 500. How special is it to be a big part of what Kennedy's done this year, Jeff?
It feels great because, like you said, when I was a little kid, when I was 8 or 9, just watching the team, I was like, dang, I want to be out there one day, you know. And now that time has come, and I was just like, they went 2-7. It's just like I want to change that. So and now we're 4-4, and I was just like
5-4.
Yeah, 5-4 now, and it's about to be 6-4, you know. And we've changed things. And I told Marquez my freshman year, things are going to change once we get up there, once it's our time. So.
Totally that.
What do you think, Marquez? Anything to add to that?
It feels great that we got the wins. We should have a better record.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We shouldn't have lost to some of the teams.
Definitely.
But yeah, it feels good that we're getting more wins year by year.
Right.
All right, you guys are a big reason why Kennedy's had so much success this year. Hopefully we get another W on Saturday. Best of luck. We'll be rooting for you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Jeff Keller and Marquez Monroe. Coming up, we'll talk to our old friend, Daryl Moffitt, QB coach. He stops by when Inside Kennedy Football continues.
Okay, let's set the facts straight. Almost a quarter of car crashes involve cell phones. When you text and drive, you look away at least 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's the length of a football field. Time out. It's illegal in 39 states to text and drive, but you're in danger everywhere when you don't focus. So keep your eyes on the road and arrive alive. No text, no wrecks. So don't text and drive.
Back on Inside Kennedy Football, the Eagles have reached the section semifinals. They'll play Hastings on Saturday on the road. 7 o'clock, head on out. It's a beautiful stadium down in Hastings, right on the corner of Highway 42 and 61. Beautiful blue field there. Cheer on the Eagles, hopefully to win in a section championship appearance. And I know our next guest really wants that to happen.
Hey.
Daryl Moffitt, good to see you, my friend.
How you doing, Josh, man? It's always good to be here. Last time I was here, man, they say TV adds some pounds. I had to get in the weight room a little bit, jog. I was like, sheesh. But I'm glad to be here.
You got to keep up with the players, right? Because you got some great athletes on your team that you want to keep up with in practice. But just to walk from a coach's perspective, I know you're a former player too. What is it like from a big win standpoint? I know you've coached a lot of sports, but has had to be fun to watch Kennedy do what they did on Saturday in comeback fashion.
No, when you watch these kids play, I tell them all the time, they don't know how good they can be. And we're right on the cusp of being a really good team. You saw it that night that they just didn't let each other go. And that's what's important. And I think it starts with Coach Williams and his leadership and, his attention to detail, and he keeps their spirits up. And it didn't feel like we were going to lose. I guarantee you that. When you're on a team like that understands that they can make a play anywhere. You saw it on the defensive end. They, obviously we were getting gashed on runs, but, the bend but don't break kind of attitude that Coach J-Rob has as well, they're going to make a play. And we had to make plays where it needed. Offensively, we couldn't run the ball that much. But then we found ways to get the ball in the air, throw the ball, get the ball to our athletes. Rajon Walker did an outstanding job. Just the way everybody is on the same page right now and playing hard and coaching well, and the support by the fans has been huge as well. So it's all coming together.
It was cool to see some of them rush the field. A nice moment for Kennedy after that win. You mentioned the timeliness and the key plays. How do you coach how do you coach that mindset from your team to go, okay, they've been running it at us, they're at the 1 yard line, but hey, we can still make a play there? Because that's tough to do. How do you coach that? How do you develop that from your team?
Well, it starts from the beginning. It starts from the very beginning. Understand that winning is a mindset. Winning is an attitude, and it's not situational. It has nothing to do with whether the weather's great that day or whether the refs give you a good call. That's not a winning attitude. And sometimes you got to carry that over into life. Maybe something bad happened that day and you have to shake it off and find a way to get yourself back up. And that's why football's such a great sport, because you learn so many life skills and so many things that are going to carry you on to the next level. And they get that every single day. Every day in practice, Coach K is preaching, trying to keep the right mindset and staying locked in and staying focused. And, I think our kids are starting to learn what it takes, and it also helps getting a win. Yep. So when you get a win, that's experience and you get a leg up. So hopefully that carries on into another win.
You are working with the quarterbacks this year, and I know a few weeks ago we mentioned that Zach's off to a good start, and he has just continued to accelerate. I was reading some of the numbers to Coach K. 16 total touchdowns for Zach, 9 through the air, 7 rushing. He's the second leading rusher on the team. Just 3 interceptions. He's got a quarterback rating over 90. I mean, he is playing some really darn good football, and I think it kind of goes unnoticed because people see what Rajon can do and they see what Marquez can do, but Zach's kind of been that rock of the offense all year.
Yeah. You also got to give a shout out to the offensive line. There's days where, they don't get all. We know what it's like to be an offensive lineman. It's not a sexy position. So I think that they trust that Zach's going to get the job done. Early in the beginning of the season, I said, hey, you're going to have to make some plays. I think that's where it started. I think he really bunkered down and said, Coach K challenged him to pull the ball a little bit more, to be involved in the run game. And once you start making plays, they start believing in you. It's different. Well, in the past, we have had guys that probably been way more athletic, had a stronger arm, but just didn't make plays. And he's done the little things like watching film, knowing where the linebackers are going to drop, knowing where the blitzes are coming from. So it's been those type of things that he's been a student of the game. So once you're a student of the game, you really take time to learn the game. The game slows down. And then he made the plays, and now they believe in him. So I told him at halftime, I said, look, man, we're going to have to throw the ball. You're going to have to throw the ball. I told him you're going to win the game throwing the ball. And I'm just so proud of him because he took what he knew in himself. And the funny thing about it is he didn't waver. He just looked at me and said, yes, coach, let's get it. So when you got a guy like that on your team and he's your leader, you get behind him and you put the ball in his hands.
Last one for you. We'll ask Coach K too, but Hastings, tough opponent. What are some of the keys from your side?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to move the chains in any way that we can. whether it's pass to run, run to pass, and we got to be aggressive. They're a better team than last year, but guess what? So are we. So it's going to be a good game. I'm excited to get there, and let's see who can turn up.
All right. We'll let you get back to it, Daryl. Always great to chat with you, and best of luck on Saturday, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, that's quarterbacks coach Daryl Moffitt. Coming up on the final segment, we'll talk to the head coach, Kedrick Williams, about the big section semifinal game on Saturday, when Inside Kennedy Football continues.
As head coach of the Kennedy Eagles football program, I am so excited that the 2021 season is on. I would like to personally invite you, your friends, family, and the community out to support our program. We have been working very hard to provide an entertaining style of football that you will enjoy. The Eagles are ready to kick it.
It's our time. Come fly with the Eagles.
Back on Inside Kennedy Football, final reminder, Kennedy section semifinal appearance on Saturday in Hastings, the 7 o'clock start. Head on out. It's not too far of a drive, only about 30 minutes or so. Cheer on the Eagles and show that support that Kennedy's been giving the home team all season. Back to talk about that game is the head coach, Kedrick Williams. Now, you mentioned in that promo there an entertaining brand of football, and that certainly was the case on Tuesday. What a game it was. But so when you have that kind of a heart-stopping win, how do you springboard that into the next game? And it's a short week again, just a few days in between both games.
Not celebrate. You know, that's one thing that we're learning this year. You know, some people ask, why didn't you throw the water on Coach K? And they literally looked and said, because we now expect to win. You know, sometimes in those extra celebrated victories, it's because you didn't expect what happened. You know, so you get the Gatorade, you get the fans running, rushing the field. You know, and I get it. Kids are excited. I get it. It's a new kind of feeling. But at the same time, we're also teaching the expectation of success. What is it like to feel expected to be successful?
We just heard earlier from Jeff Keller and Marquez Monroe.
Yes.
Maybe just say a few words about each. They just seem like terrific people, bright future, not only in the game of football, but in the game of life.
You know, and that's where you hit it right there. Both kids have over a 3.8 GPA, man. Both kids come from fabulous families, you know, that I also tight with and speak with. But more so than that, I've known both kids for quite a while. Marquez, I had his older brother. Jeff, like he said, you know, I used to go to his 6th grade practices, you know, and he always had that mindset of coming to Kennedy, being the Eagle, really being excited about it, you know, really being motivated to play for Kennedy. And when he got there, I've never seen him more motivated, you know, to go to a certain high school. And he's really been energetic for us. They're both captains, you know. As Marquez said, he's our visual captain, leads by his play, which he does. And Jeff is our more vocal captain. You know, Jeff is the one that's always getting the team right. If things are out of order, Jeff is the loudest, the biggest one you see. He's definitely the biggest guy in the school, you know. And it's hard to miss Jeff Keller, you know, walking around. And it's so funny because the students, they all love him, they respect him. You know, it's just a really good feeling. It really is.
Let's talk a little bit about Hastings because we saw them earlier this year against Jefferson. Jefferson got out to lead, then it was really all Hastings from there. I know you played them last year in the playoffs. A much improved team. They've got a running back in Freiermuth that did some damage against Jefferson. They've got a wide receiver, and you watched that game too in the stands against Jefferson. Bezicek. They can hit you with a lot of different players and plays.
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with the quarterback. The quarterback is leading your team in rushing. That's one thing that people don't really talk about. 7, he can move the ball. He can throw the ball a little bit. You know, and that's something. You know, one thing I'm proud of is our passing defense. You know, knock on wood, Joshua, we've given up, I think, one passing touchdown all year on defense, and that's huge. That's really huge. Another thing is with our defense is we're willing to make adjustments. A lot of teams stay in what they do, and they stay with it. We don't. Here at Kennedy, I've always believed we run 3 defenses, our 4-3, our 3-4, and then the one that's going to work that night, okay? So, you know, that's the great thing about us. We teach it early on in June, how to adjust from different things, how to adjust in the game. Shout out to our administration. They give us all the tools to be successful in that way. We have our huddle sideline things, so we're able to see plays. We're able to kind of see how the game flow is going, watch things back, adjust to what teams are doing right there. I've always said, you know, a good coach is a coach that can make adjustments right there on the spot. And that's something that we try to do as coaches here at Kennedy. As far as Hastings, to give them a shout out, man, they've had a great year. Second in the sections, did a good job, only really lost at St. Thomas. So give them a good job. They hit the weight room this past year. Like you said, those kids was sophomores and juniors last year. They're juniors and seniors this year. The great thing and confidence that we have about Kennedy, we now expect to go into other people's houses and cause, a little celebration.
Give us, as we close here, last one quickly, just a couple keys to come away with one of the bigger wins in Kennedy football history, really, this century.
Right.
It's weird to say that.
Thanks for the pressure there. No, really, the key is, getting to our keys. On defense is reading our keys, getting to where we're supposed to get to, and then wrapping up that big running back and tackling, number one. People get to him, but then he drags them 5 and 10 yards down. Another thing offensively, we have to take advantage of what they give us. And that's something that Zach has been very good at under the tutelage of Darryl Moffitt. Really taking what the defense gives. If they're in this coverage, we're running this. If they're in this coverage, we're running this. If we see this, we're going to switch to this. And, you saw a little bit of that on Tuesday night. We're a running team normally. We had to put the ball in the hands of our quarterback if we were going to win that game. They was giving us passing lanes all over the field. You saw Chris Martin make some passes. You saw Rajon make some passes. Luke Dosen got a touchdown in that game, So people were making plays, and we're able to do that. The one thing I will say to Hastings is you saw 21 different offensive formations. Good luck defending them.
All right, Coach. I know you're excited about the game. We're excited, too.
Yes.
Best of luck on Saturday. And
Thank you.
You and the team will be by next week to talk about that game. So we'll see you next week on Inside Kennedy Football.
Appreciate it, Josh. Thanks for having me. Hello to East Side. Thank you, the East Side community. Appreciate it.
All right, he's the head coach, Kedrick Williams. And Kennedy in the section semifinals against Hastings. Again, it's a 7 o'clock start on Saturday. We'll recap that game with the head coach and the rest of the team on Monday. That's the next edition of Inside Kennedy Football. And that'll wrap up this week's edition. For our entire crew, this is Josh Powers saying good night from our studios.